Stone walls with boarded up windows, gutted inside. Empty. Empty just as the souls that reside within. This man-made hell, the abode of helplessness, self-hate and despair. Buildings condemned, half destroyed and burned down on MLK Drive, standing side by side. Lined with junkies, crackheads, drunks and garbage. Pregnant teens and childless fathers. This is what we call the projects. The definition of project is a planned undertaking. What I need to know is who is the mastermind behind this entire situation, this depraved creation. The second definition is to work out a plan for, devise, imagine, conceive of, to see in one's mind. And this is what they had planned for us? I can't imagine or even conceive that any intelligent human being could believe we, as so-called black folk, would agree that we deserve or even care to be in these projects. But I guess I got no choice. Wasn't given a chance to decide. If I was, I could tell you straight up, I would not have chosen to be disenfranchised, nor would I allow myself to be ostracized, brutalized, or institutionalized. Somehow, this was already in the plans, part of the project laid out for every project across the land. And you wonder why we thugs. It's a war on black folks, not a war on drugs.
America has accomplished so much in these last few years. Now we need your support again. Drugs are menacing our society. They're threatening our values and undercutting our institutions. They're killing our children. From the beginning of our administration, we've taken strong steps to do something about this horror.
Oscar Danilo Blandon, a supplier who turned out to be a federal agent and was the person who ultimately led to your downfall. Gary Webb claimed that Blandon was funneling cocaine money to the Contras with the help of the CIA.
Since Gary's past, the CIA has come out and admitted that they were working with known drug traffickers. So now it's no longer this myth or this perception that it may have happened or it may not have happened. It absolutely happened. The government admitted it. They put it in their own report.
The sad part about it is that my side confused. We killing each other, stuck in the game without no rules. It all starts and ends here. These projects, where projectiles cause the young to fall slain in the gutter. Where if you're a black male, your projected lifespan is 25 years old or younger. If you're a single mother on welfare, for you, there's Project Independence. What can I tell you? Overall, for blacks in general, it's projected failure. We must not allow others to project their own negative perceptions upon us. These projects are only walls with boarded up windows, but in Yehoshua, we are so much more. The descendants of Israel, under the curses of Deuteronomy 28, enslaved in the belly of Babylon's whore. When it rains, it pours. And this is just a glimpse of the nation on the verge of collapse, gripped by inflation. Doctors and hospitals pimping the patients, the undesirables without proper health care, who get treated with subpar service cause they on welfare. And projects to revitalize the place where we raise our kids only mean our kind can no longer afford to dwell there. We call that gentrification.
I want y'all to take a look at that sign up there. See what it says? Cash for your home. You know what that is? It's called gentrification.
I will not be controlled by the propaganda we're sold on TV or by the eye in the pyramid. It inflames my soul and makes me feel powerless and ashamed because of the pain inflicted by my foes, because history shows that our brains were exposed to those so-called doctors who poked holes in our veins with needles filled with violent strains in the Tuskegee experiment.
399 with syphilis and 201 without the disease were induced to participate in the experiment. Nearly all of them were poorly educated, impoverished sharecroppers. In exchange for participating, they were promised free medical exams, hot meals, and a burial stipend.
Why does our mere presence put fear in other men?
Let him go!
They must be afraid, cause it seems as if every time an unarmed black man has an encounter with law enforcement, he ends up getting sprayed, choked out or tased, and laid to rest in his grave. His picture displayed on the evening news as the overpaid anchor sitting at the desk furthers this miscarriage of justice, demonizing the victim by focusing in on his prior arrests. Then comes the parade, the riots and hashtags, the phony outrage, and the usual suspects show up within days, race baiting the public. They take center stage. Isn't it obvious that they're only here to get paid? To shuck and jive for the cameras and to keep up the charade? You cry Black Lives Matter, but do they really? We kill each other over colors instead of swallowing our differences. Our mental malaise and self-deprecating ways cause us to wallow in our own ignorance. The point is, these projects can be the death of us if we succumb to fear and trepidation, or they could be the reason why we survive if we decide to rise to the occasion through mental, physical, and spiritual emancipation. I am scot-free.